my goodness, I loved Barbies when I was a kid. This is so neat. People are actually collecting them as adults. Like, that's a thing. Oh, and when I got this, I mean, this book, tell me if you want me to do a flip through of this someday in detail. These are the ones that I bought, these three right here. And oh my gosh, and I still have them to this day. And I really got into the rapid acquisition of Barbies at that time. Hello, my cherished doll friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl. I'm in my doll room right now. I'm at a different angle than I usually am. I'm facing my dollhouse, and then I've got my American Girl dolls displayed behind me, and I have a couple of Robert Tonner dolls, my Elowin and Nima back there, and a Rainbow High. So we're just from a different angle today, and I wanted to talk to you about a subject that came to my mind, and it was actually inspired by Christy from AG Takes Over. I heard something on her channel quite a while ago. It was just a term that she used, and she called it rapid acquisition. And it made me think, well, if rapid acquisition is a stage in doll collecting, what other stages could there be? Because that's obviously the first stage, and I just wondered and thought to myself, what have the stages been like for me in my doll collecting journey? And I wondered if you wanted to explore that with me. So I made a few notes here. So if I look down, that's why. Stick with me. It's going to be a chatty video, and you can admire my beautiful dolls in the background. I might do some cutaways to different dolls in my collection so you can see who's hanging around in my doll room. But first, I just wanted to start with defining the three stages of doll collecting that I've come up with, starting with number one, rapid acquisition. And to me, this equals excitement. This is the dopamine rush we get when we first realize we're doll collectors and we want to start acquiring dolls, and we are buying dolls, we're watching box openings on YouTube, we might be following eBay listings and looking on Facebook Marketplace and thrifting dolls and basically adding dolls to our collection. And we're also looking for good deals and the rarest items in some cases. Not everybody wants to collect rare dolls, but it is something that a lot of collectors look for, or hard to find items, or sometimes they just want to relive their nostalgia from their childhood and find dolls that they had when they were kids to replace their childhood memories and all that nostalgia from when they were young and they loved dolls. So those are some of the things that happen during the rapid acquisition stage of doll collecting. And so let me know in the comments if you think you're at this stage. I think a lot of us are. I'm going to reveal later which stage I think I'm at. But so those are kind of the breakdown of what I think that stage is. Next, I just kind of wanted to talk about my experience of those stages, because I've been doll collecting for many years, but in different clumps. I mean, I loved dolls when I was a kid. I loved Barbies, I loved baby dolls. And the three that I kept from childhood were my Holly Hobbie rag doll, my Raggedy Ann, and my little baby doll Heidi. And they were very sentimental to me. I don't have them any longer, which is a regret of mine. And that's in another video. But anyways, I did have them for most of my younger adult life, all through my childhood to my adult life. And so when I grew up, I grew out of dolls, just like a lot of us do, for a time. And then when I got into actually my early 30s, it was when I had my son, and I became a single mom because the marriage didn't work out. It was a very hard, sad time in my life, but also happy. I was blessed with my beautiful son, and I absolutely adore him and love him to pieces. But during that time when I was a single mom, it was a lonely time, it was a hard time, and I struggled financially, and I had a lot of bills to pay and a lot of pressure, and it was really the most difficult time in my life. But having said that, I wanted happiness too. I felt like I deserved some joy in my life and some peace in my life. So I was watching the Shopping Network channel and I saw this shopping ad for the Barbies, collectible Barbies, and they were the Scarlett O'Hara Gone with the Wind collection. And I was just mesmerized, and I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I loved Barbies when I was a kid. This is so neat. People are actually collecting them as adults. Like, that's a thing. I was really like excited by that. I was like, you mean I could be a Barbie collector? And I got so excited, and I went to the phone and I ordered 3 of the Scarlett O'Hara Barbies. I felt a bit remorseful because money was really tight and nobody really knew that I was really into doll collecting, only that I loved them when I was a child. But I didn't care. I was excited for these dolls. And when they arrived and I opened them up, it was just like magical. I was like, wow, I can be a Barbie collector. And it came with this wonderful book. Actually, I should go grab the book and show you. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, you have no idea how long it takes me to get downstairs and back up again with my broken foot. It's been 4 weeks tomorrow, and it's starting to feel a little bit better. I can walk on it more. I'm still wearing the boot, but yeah, I'm still slow moving. Anyway, I meant to bring this upstairs. I hope this isn't backwards for you, but this is the book that came with the Barbies. And look at this. It says Special Collector's Reference Edition, Miller's Barbie Collector, the Barbie as Scarlett series. Oh, and when I got this, I mean, this book, it's got all of the information about being a Barbie collector and all these wonderful like pictures of all the different Barbies and what they're all called. I'm not going to get into all this right now because it'll take too long. Oh, there's the Scarlett ones. These are the ones that I bought, these 3 right here. And oh my gosh, and I still have them to this day. I actually did a box opening of them. I had them in the box from the 1990, when did I buy them? 1997 maybe? So I had them in the box all that time, and I only opened them up last year, I think. So that was a pretty exciting box opening. And so anyway, that magazine came and just sparked my excitement for Barbie collecting. So then what happened was every time I went to the toy store with my son and we'd look at toys for him, he would be looking at Bionicles and Lego and cars and things like that. And so I would go to the Barbie aisle and look and see what I could find, and I would pick out a Barbie for myself. And it was just kind of a little bonding thing for us because I'm a very girly girl and my son was very boyish, and so it was hard to do the play thing with him. I didn't quite relate, but even buying a toy together, him having a new toy, me having a new toy, even though they were very different styles of play, it was just fun to come home together and let's open up our new thing together and have a box opening, and he'd open his and start playing, and I could open my Barbie and admire it and pose it and fiddle with it. And it was a really nice memory of when he was little. And I really got into the rapid acquisition of Barbies at that time. So I started collecting them. I made a list of some of the ones that I remember because I don't have most of them anymore. I do have the Scarlett O'Hara ones, as I mentioned, but some of the 90s Barbies that I collected back then were, I had Rapunzel, and I had an Avon Barbie. I don't know quite where I got that. It might have been a secondhand one. I had some holiday Barbies. I had a Baywatch Barbie. She was in that red swimsuit and the bleach blonde hair, and she had a little dolphin in the box and I think a surfboard or something. She was really cute. Then I had a Solo in the Spotlight Barbie. I had a Disneyland Barbie, and I've been to Disneyland. I actually took my son to Disneyland when he was about 10. That was later on, but I'd also been when I was a kid, and I love Disney. So I had my Disneyland Barbie, and then my favorite, and I still have it back in my cupboard there, my reproduction 1967 Twist and Turn Barbie, which if you've seen my channel, I've talked about this a few times. She was my very first Barbie given to me probably not in 1967, maybe a year later, I'm guessing. I was about 4 years old for my birthday, and I was too young. I had that doll for one day on my birthday, and I was playing with the clicky legs, and I broke her leg, and my mom took her away, never to be seen again. She took her back to the store and replaced her with some other doll that wasn't Barbie. She was plastic and jointed and not nearly as beautiful, and I was quite sad, but I did get used to the new doll anyways, and my mom sewed her lots of clothes and things like that. So anyway, I got off track there. Those were some of the Barbies that I rapidly acquired, and I started filling up every surface in my bedroom. My dressers and my shelves were all covered with in-box Barbies, because back then a lot of us, I think, wanted to keep them in the box, thinking that they would be collectible and maybe worth something in the future. And that isn't necessarily the case, but some are more valuable than others. I also liked baby dolls, and the Baby So Beautiful came out around that time, and they had all different ones, and you were meant to pick one that looked like your child and buy that for your child. And so I just thought they were beautiful little dolls, and I remember buying one for myself that I thought looked like me, and I kept her mostly in the box. I took her out to just brush her hair and fiddle with her, and then I'd put her back in the box and admire her. And I had a couple of porcelain dolls too. I had one that I think it was Goldilocks or something. She had really curly hair and a big hat, and she was really darling. I displayed her for a long time. Don't have her anymore. And then of course I still had my childhood dolls, Raggedy Ann, my baby doll, and Holly Hoppy. So that was back in the 90s, stage one, rapid acquisition, and that was how I experienced that. So I think I'll just go through the 3 stages with my first experience, and then we can revisit currently how it's going for me. And then I'd really like to hear in the comments what stage you think you're at and how you've experienced those different stages in doll collecting. So stage number 2 I call curate and preserve. And to me, this equals content and satisfied. So we're starting to accumulate now. Our finances are getting a little bit tight from all the doll purchases. We're becoming space limited. They're filling up our space and we're running out of display room. We start to rotate the dolls and curate our collections, maybe sell a few and find a few that have been missing, our Grail dolls, and we fill in the gaps, and changing our displays around and changing our dolls, changing things for the season, and enjoying what we have, enjoying our collection, and becoming aware that more is not better. So curate and preserve, I call that stage 2 of doll collecting. And let me know if any of you are in that stage. I think I'm in that stage right now, actually. I feel very satisfied with my collection. I've got almost all of the historical dolls for American Girl. I'm missing the Hoffman twins, and I'm missing Ivy. I had Ivy, but I shared her with my friend Adam, so that's another video. But other than that, I have all the historical dolls, even their best friends. And I've got my Robert Tonner doll collection I really love, and I'm building up a collection of wardrobes for them now. There's one Grail doll on the way that I'm very excited to share very soon. And there are 1 or 2 more that I may still purchase with them. I have one ruby red fashion doll that I really love. And I do have a reborn doll that looks like my son that I absolutely adore, and a couple of other little baby dolls, but I don't really collect baby dolls. I just have a few, 3, I think. So I feel like I am kind of at that curate and preserve stage of doll collecting. So it's actually a nice place to be. I just feel really happy moving my dolls around, changing their clothes, making up new stories for them, and creating videos for them for my channel is one of the most enjoyable things for me. So I'm at that stage. I'm really enjoying it. So stage 3 is maybe an unpopular stage of doll collecting. It does happen, and it did happen to me in my Barbie collecting journey back in the 90s. And so I call stage 3 downsizing and purge. And this to me equals mixed feelings. So this can be maybe we're losing interest in our dolls. We've kind of been collecting for a while and our heart isn't in it anymore. We're just not as interested as we once were. If you're at a certain age, you may feel you're growing out of dolls. By the way, you're never too old for dolls, but some people do grow out of dolls, and they go through different stages in their life, and they may revisit dolls again, or they may not. It depends. Some of us have collector shame. We're embarrassed about our collections, and we're struggling with guilt about spending money on all of the dolls when life is happening around us and finances can be challenging all around, and we feel like we want to be fiscally responsible and planning for our futures and, like for me, my retirement, important things like that. So it does come into play that you start to think about finances and being responsible, and to some of us it's not as affordable as others, so you get a lot of guilt with that, and so we find ourselves selling dolls or getting rid of our collections. Moving or downsizing. A lot of people move throughout their life. I have moved many times in my life, and every time I move I do tend to downsize. I get rid of things. I've gotten rid of a lot of dolls in my past, in my first collecting stage with the Barbies. When I moved, I did get rid of a lot of my Barbies. I shared some with little girls in my family. I donated some, and I sold some. And it was hard for me. I did keep my favorites, and they went into a cupboard. Well, sometimes they went into a box. Like the case of my Raggedy Ann and my baby doll and my Holly Hobby. I had them in boxes under my house for the longest time. And when I took them out when I was moving, the Holly Hobby and the Raggedy Ann were quite musty smelling, and they were old and aged and raggedy, literally raggedy looking. And that was before my second round of doll collecting. So I wasn't really into doll collecting at that point in time. And sadly, I donated them, and I'd kept them for my whole adult life. And it was only maybe 3 years ago that I did that, when I did this final move to this house that I'm living in now, which I plan to stay in for a very long time. And I donated those dolls, and my heart broke, and I wished I hadn't done it. I wish I could have them back, but it's done. I did keep the baby doll though, so I was happy about that. Anyways, so we start to sell and give away our dolls, and they go out of sight and they get forgotten. And that is the final stage of doll collecting, downsizing and purge. And I do believe a lot of us have mixed feelings about that. We sometimes feel relief, like, okay, I was done with that stage of my life. I'm ready to do some adulting, or I'm ready to save up for college or university, or start my career, or save for a house, or have kids. There's so many other goals that we want to strive for, and retirement, things like that. So sometimes we feel relief and satisfaction that we enjoyed having dolls in our collection, but I'm not that girl anymore. I don't really care about them anymore, and I'm ready to move on to something else. And that's totally okay to do that. For me, dolls have always been a part of my life, and even when I stopped collecting, I still had some in the closet that I would look at and take out once in a while, and just admire and love and caress, and just get that nice feeling back about the dolls. And then they go away, and I'd continue to live my life, and then that was it. So fast forward to 2020, when I began my second journey of doll collecting, and that was during the lockdown and COVID, and I was off work for 6 months, and I was at home, and that was a time when a lot of collectors really got into it. I was at home watching a lot of YouTube and trying to find activities to do and crafts. I tried flower arranging, and I'm very artsy crafty, and I was doing a little bit of painting as well. And I came across some doll collecting channels. And first I found the reborn channels, and I was watching the box openings of all the baby dolls and how excited the people were that when they were receiving these things, and just the pleasure that they got, and watching them on YouTube. I found it just fascinating. And then I found the American Girl doll channels and the Barbies and the Rainbow High, and I started just binge watching all of these doll creators on YouTube. And that's kind of how I got started. I didn't start right then. I was just watching at that point. And then when I moved to this house where I'm at now, which was near the end of 2020 actually, I had been living with my son and his fiance up to that point in an apartment. And so they wanted to move out on their own, and I wanted to move into this co-op where I had lived before. And I got a really nice unit here, a 3-story townhouse, and it was a really exciting move. But it was also sad for me because I was being separated from my son. He was finally moving out on his own with his girlfriend, and I was going to be living alone for the first time in many years, in like 27 years, because I had been with him that whole time as a single mom. So it was an emotional time for me as well. And I was lonely. I was lonely at first, and I was sad. I was excited to have my own place and to be able to spread out onto 3 floors all to myself. I was so very grateful to finally have the closest thing I'll ever have to my own home. And so I was very grateful to be here, but a little bit sad and lonely and missing my son. And they, at that time, had moved to an apartment about an hour away in Vancouver. And so I didn't see them that often either. So because of the reborn community, I had discovered the reborn dolls, and I found a doll online just randomly. I wasn't looking to buy one or anything, but this one popped up in my feed, that the sculpt of this doll, it was the Noah sculpt by Riva Schick, and it looked identical to my son. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that doll. It looks like my baby son. So I went on this journey of researching reborn dolls, researching doll artists, and I found an artist in Canada that was doing this sculpt, and I had her make a custom for me. And it was the biggest doll purchase I had ever made. It was, I think, I don't really want to say the price, but it was, an expensive doll, the most expensive doll I've ever bought. And I was very excited to receive him. And when he came, I did a full-on box opening. Now, this was before I had a YouTube channel. And so because I had been watching YouTube and watching the YouTube channels and the box openings, I decided that when he came, I would film myself doing a box opening just for fun, just to sort of be part of the crowd of just pretend I was a YouTuber and doing a box opening, and so that I could kind of look at it later and have a giggle. And funny thing is, when I did start my channel, well into the channel, I did actually put that video on my channel. It's a little bit embarrassing, but it is there if you look for it under, I don't remember what it's called, but that video is there. So that was actually officially my first YouTube video, even though it wasn't really, because I hadn't started my channel yet. And I have another one that's my first video. I'm rambling. Anyway, so then once I got that baby doll, I started on the Paradise Galleries website, and I ordered 2 or 3 more baby dolls. And I really enjoyed them. I thought they were just beautiful pieces of art. But I realized the baby dolls weren't really what I wanted to collect. I didn't want to collect a bunch of them. I was happy with my one that looked like my son. I kept 2 of my favorite Paradise Galleries dolls, and the other 2 I sold. And I decided I wanted to go in a different direction with my doll collecting, and I went with American Girl. And that's when my next stage of rapid acquisition started. I decided, well, I need to limit myself. I don't want to just go crazy with, there's so many American Girl dolls. I wanted to have a category. So I decided I'm going to go with the historical dolls because there's a limited amount of them. And once I have them all, I'll have to stop there. And so I stuck to that pretty well, actually, because I do have all of the most of the historical dolls. I have one Girl of the Year, which is Blair, and she plays Anne of Green Gables and Dorothy from Wizard of Oz in my collection. And so I have her. I did have Corinne Tan, but I ended up selling her. And so, yeah, I rapidly accumulated American Girl dolls. Oh, I also have Yvette from The World by Us. So I have a few just random dolls that aren't from the historical line, but most of them are historical dolls for my American Girl doll collection. So, and then I went in the direction of Robert Tonner because I was really following Rachel Hoffman's channel and Virtual Doll Convention. And when I first got my first Robert Tonner doll, I was absolutely hooked. And so I didn't rapidly start collecting them because they are quite expensive too. But I did order one Elowen and one Grace, and then I joined the subscriptions, and you get a box every month that has an outfit and accessories and crafts and a letter, and it's really fun. And so I guess my rapid acquisition there is just once a month I get a subscription box and I get a new outfit for my doll. And I think you'd all agree that when you put a doll in a new outfit, it's almost like having a new doll again. Even with the American Girls, just having the ones that I have, when I change them into a different outfit or a different look, it's like they're a new doll again to me. So it's another way of enjoying the collection the way it is without continually adding to it. So yeah, that was what started my rapid acquisition stage in my second stage of doll collecting. And as I said before, I think that I'm in stage 2 right now, the curate and preserve stage. And I'm really happy at this stage and I want to stay here forever because I love dolls and I love doll collecting and I love the dolls in my collection and I love getting to know them. I do like them to have a little character and certain outfits that they wear and only they wear them, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm really happy with my doll collecting journey. I've been through all 3 stages. Now I'm stuck in stage 2 and I really do feel that I'll stay there forever because at the most, if I go to stage 3, it will be downsizing, purging a little bit, but I will never stop doll collecting and I will never have no dolls in my collection. I can say that for absolute sure and certainty. Even when I'm an old lady, older than I am now, I'm going to have dolls in my life. So I hope that you'll be the same way. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So while I have the camera and the light on, I thought I would just do a quick little tour of my doll room currently. A lot of my dolls are put away because I don't have room for them all at the same time. Right now we have my beautiful Elizabeth, and there is my first edition Felicity. And we've got 2 Mollys. The one on the left is an American Girl doll, Molly. I added eyelashes to her. Isn't she cute? Because she dressed up as Wednesday one Halloween. And that is my older Molly. She's a Pleasant Company Molly. And this is my Dreamer Pleasant Company Samantha and her little English friend Nellie, who I just adore so much. And so that is the first row on my shelf. And down here we have my vintage Pleasant Company TLC Addie. And next to her is my white body Kirsten, dressed in Samantha's little play outfit. Here's my Josefina, who is still dressed as Wednesday in her party dress from the ball. She's wearing that cute little dress there, and I just don't want to take her out of it because she looks so pretty. And then also because I've got Enid here. She's my TLC Caroline doll that I customized with eyelashes. I cut her hair and I put rainbow colors in her hair and dressed her as best I could to look like Enid. And there's my perfect little Kirsten in her full meat outfit. And then we have some pets here. I call this one Mittens because she looks like the cat I had when I was a kid, but I think it might be Licorice. And there is a vintage coconut very cute in her basket. And this is Claudia's dog, Dizzy Dot, which is just adorable. She's like the cutest AG pet I've ever seen. And then this little guy here, this little brown fellow. Now down here I have, excuse the mess, it is a little bit messy in my office here. So there are my MapleLea dolls. I've got 6 of them. So these 3 are Taryn, and the one in the middle I've named Glinda, and I think she's a KMF 14 friend doll that I thrifted from Value Village. And there's my Sila doll. Love her. There is my newest Brienne. You can see I don't have enough shelves to display all my dolls. That's why they're all kind of standing on the floor. So that is one reason why we need to curate our collections sometimes. So there's Brienne, and we've got Charlesy beside her, my BC girl. And then we've got, there's Leonie. She is a first edition Leonie. That's a little our generation boy there, which I named Derek. That's my son's name. And then we've got, I just put Kit in Mary Ellen's little poodle skirt, and I think she looks super cute. And there's Melody over there, still wearing the pajamas from PJ or January, Pajamas January. So that's them there. Up here by the lamp, I moved my Elowen over. They are dressed for the Oscars. That's Elowen and Nima, my Robert Tonner dolls. I think they look absolutely gorgeous. There they are up close. And then up here on my windowsill, we've got Cheryl, the Rainbow High doll. And then these are my mini dolls. Addie, Isabel, Kit riding a bike. There's my little Kirsten that I got from Joe at AGTV for Life. That was a little birthday present from her. And my little Caroline. There's Sybil the cat. That's my Grandma and I. And then I've got these 2 girls, these Robert Tonner girls here. That's my Tyler Wentworth and Sydney dolls there. And they're looking pretty cute. And then over to Elowen's closet. And there is my Grace doll. And this is where I have all my, some people were asking how I store my stuff. So I've got all my Elowen boxes down there. Oh, there's a couple more dolls. There's my little Samantha. And then we've got Yvette and Nanea and Julie. And there's Blair dressed as Anne of Green Gables. And then in here, sorry about the light. That's the light right there. But there is Charming Chatty and Chatty Cathy. And Chatty Cathy does work. Then I've got a few little dolls piled down there. Not very nice. And there is my beautiful Penny girl. Look at her. What a beautiful girl. Am I taking a video of the doll room? Are you the prettiest girl of all? She's very sleepy during the day because she's usually sleeping while I'm at work, and I'm home today. So, and then also under here, and I always keep a little cover on this couch because it catches the cat hair. And then this is how I store some of my doll clothes. You know the bags that you get, you know, like sheets and covers and blankets in? They are perfect for storing doll clothes. This was a little pillow bag. And so then in there I've got individual like freezer bags, and all of the doll clothes are in individual bags according to their meet outfits and different outfits that go together. So that is one part of how I store stuff. So I'll show you inside this closet. I have it set up like a little nursery, and there are my 2 baby dolls there. That's little Derek, my reborn doll that looks just like my son. He's absolutely scrumptious, and there's a little picture of him. You can see the resemblance. So you can see why I had to have this one in my collection. And then this little one up here is Heidi. She's my baby doll from childhood that my Dad gave me when I was about 10 years old. So those two are hanging out in there. There's a ton of stuffed animals in Derek's bassinet, just because I don't have anywhere to put them. And so he's just snuggling with all of those. This little wall hanging my mom made for my son when he was a baby, and it was hanging on the wall in his actual nursery. So I thought that looked cute in the closet to make a little nursery set up for him. And you can see I do have a few storage containers there. Those have baby clothes in them. And then I have a few things up on the shelf here. It's a bit messy. I have a few dolls up there. My Scarlett O'Hara Barbies are in that brown shipper box. There's my 1967 reproduction Barbie, a couple of Raggedy Anns, a couple of Our Generation dolls, and a couple little Barbies there. So that's basically all that's going on in that closet there. That is what I wanted to show you for today. So those are kind of the 3 stages of doll collecting. For me, I think I'm probably going to linger in stage 2, curate and preserve, because I am a lifetime doll collector. I really am. At most, I may downsize a little bit and just really curate the collection down tight to my absolute favorites. As I get older, I may have to downsize to a smaller place. Now that I've broken my foot, I've kind of realized that living alone in a place that has 3 floors and many stairs may be a health risk for me in the future. I'm still young. I don't think I'm quite at that stage yet, but at 62, I have to think about these things. And so if I have to move to a smaller place, I might have to get rid of some of my dolls and downsize my collection, which would make me really sad. And another thing, making videos and having a YouTube channel is the best way to preserve your doll collection. And that's one of the reasons I do it, is I'm doing all these videos and going into great detail of all the dolls in my collection. And when I'm really old and not as mobile as I am now, I can totally see myself enjoying my collection, even if I don't own any of those dolls anymore, or many of them, and just watching my videos over and over again and looking at my beautiful dolls and enjoying them vicariously through myself as a younger me. So that is one wonderful thing about having my YouTube channel and sharing my doll collection with all of you. So I would really love to hear in the comments what stage you think you're at with your collection and what stage you like best, and more details about, you know, how did you feel when you were downsizing, or how did you feel when you were rapidly accumulating dolls, rapidly acquiring dolls? Did you feel guilty, or did you feel excited and happy? Did you spend too much money, or were you good at, being careful and budgeting? That's what I try to do. I try to be really careful and budget for my dolls and save up for dolls, or sell a couple to get a couple of new ones. I really do have to watch my budget. So that's kind of how I manage things. So that's about all I wanted to say about the 3 stages of doll collecting. Just at the end here, I just want to say thank you again to everybody. I am planning to do my live that I promised in a post not too long ago to celebrate that I have hit 2,000 subscribers, over 2,000 now. I'm very grateful for all of you who visit me every week and watch my videos and enjoy my doll collection. I absolutely adore all of you and sharing with you and chatting with you about dolls. So I am going to do a live. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I have put it off a little bit longer than I wanted because of the broken foot. I've been quite low energy, but I am starting to feel a little bit better. My energy is coming up, and I'm feeling hopeful towards the future of walking normally again. And so I think by next week I'll be able to do my live. So it'll be a bit awkward and uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it. And I have some really great questions written down from some of you who responded to that post, and I'm gonna attempt to answer those questions in my live, and if we have time, answer any that you have if you join me in the live. So I hope to see you next Sunday. I know I usually post my videos on Saturday, but I work on Saturday and I can't do a live when I'm at work. So I thought I would do it on Sunday at noon. I feel like that's a nice middle of the day time where many time zones could hopefully join us and join in on our live. So I hope to see you there. But I know once the live is over, it does get posted forever on YouTube. So I hope that you'll be back for that. But thank you for being here. I love all of you so much. And I hope to see you again really soon. And I hope to see you next week on my live. Bye for now. Oh.